My mom said I was ruining my life on the day I bought my wedding dress. Not suggesting, not implying. She screamed it in the middle of the boutique with two other brides-to-be staring at me like I'd murdered someone. Her exact words were, open quote, "If you marry him, don't bother calling me when your life falls apart." Close quote. Let me explain. I, 28F, have always had a complicated relationship with my mom. On the outside, she's this polished, put-together, high-functioning woman who bakes pies from scratch and volunteers for church fundraisers. But inside, she's a manipulative, controlling, passive-aggressive witch who has a meltdown if you put a glass down without a coaster. And she hates my fiancé, like irrational, venomous, holy war kind of hate. His name is Damon, 30M, and he's the exact opposite of what my mom wanted for me. He has tattoos, rides a motorcycle, grew up in a rough neighborhood, and God forbid, he didn't go to college. But he loves me. Genuinely. The way he looks at me, like I'm made of magic. He listens, he supports me, he respects me. And maybe that's what pisses her off the most. Because she can't control him. He doesn't tiptoe around her bullshit. And the first time they met, he called her out on talking over me like I didn't have a voice. I remember the moment like a damn movie scene. We were at dinner. She made one of her classic backhanded comments about my career. I work freelance, so she treats it like I'm unemployed. Damon looked up from his plate and said, open quote, "Actually, I think it's amazing how she runs her own business. You should be proud of her." Close quote. She blinked like he'd slapped her. From that moment on, it was war. At first, she played it subtle, smiling through her teeth, calling him passionate in that tone that means unstable. But it escalated fast. She started texting me articles about divorce rates, forwarding me job listings in other cities just in case, and flat out told me she hoped I'd come to my senses before signing anything permanent. When Damon proposed, she didn't even fake excitement. She looked at the ring and said, open quote, "I guess it's good he had some savings." Close quote. No, congratulations. No, I'm happy for you. Just cold, bitter poison wrapped in pearls and Chanel No. 5. I should have gone low contact then, but part of me still hoped she'd come around. I was wrong. What happened next was a slow burn descent into chaos, like a horror movie where the monster wears pearls and a fake smile. And I'm going to tell you every twisted part of it, because when your own mother tries to destroy your happiness out of spite, there's no coming back from that. So I thought maybe, after the shock of the engagement wore off, my mom would settle the hell down. Spoiler alert, she didn't. Planning a wedding with her involved was like trying to light a candle in a hurricane. She said she wanted to help, but really that meant control everything. I wasn't even allowed to pick my own damn napkin color without her making it about her trauma. Yes. Napkins. I said I wanted navy blue. She clutched her chest like I'd insulted the Pope and said, "You know your father left me the day I bought a navy dress? Is this a joke to you?" Girl, what? She steamrolled every single decision. Flowers, venue, food, seating chart, everything was a battle. If she didn't pick it, she'd find a way to ruin it. I chose a small outdoor garden venue. She said it felt low class and that I was embarrassing the family. I picked peonies for my bouquet. Too bulky. Chose a strapless dress. Slutty. Yes, she used that word. She even tried to change my wedding date. I shit you not. She called me one day saying she accidentally double-booked a spa trip with her church group on the weekend of my wedding, and could I maybe move it to another date? What the actual fuck? At this point, Damon wanted to cut her off completely. He told me we could elope, forget the drama, just go to a beach in Mexico and say screw it. And honestly, I was tempted. I was so tempted, but part of me still wanted that day. The big celebration, the dress, the dancing, the tears, the people I loved there, even her. God, I was stupid. I told Damon I'd set boundaries, that I'd handle it, and I tried. I really did. I stopped telling her everything. I took control of some decisions. I limited our phone calls. But like clockwork, she found new ways to stir up hell. Here's just a taste of what she pulled during planning. Told the caterer I had a seafood allergy. I don't. Damon does. She was trying to get him sick. Accidentally booked 2 photographers behind my back, then told one of them I had changed my mind and ghosted them. Insisted on inviting her best friend, Susan, who once said to my face that interracial marriages don't last. Damon is black, by the way. took my wedding dress receipt and tried to return it, said I'd changed my mind. When the boutique called me to confirm, I nearly threw my phone at the wall. But the worst part? She started planting seeds of doubt. She'd call me at night, voice soft syrupy, and say things like, open quote, "Are you sure this is what you want? You've been so stressed lately. Maybe it's a sign. He's just not our kind of people, sweetie," close quote. She always said our like I was supposed to be on her team, like I hadn't grown the hell up and chosen my own damn life. And maybe if I didn't love Damon so much, maybe if I hadn't seen the way he held me when I cried, or how he stayed up late working extra shifts just to help us pay for the wedding, I might have cracked. But I didn't. Not yet, because I hadn't seen how far she was willing to go. So things were already on fire, right? But then my mom took a gasoline can, poured it over everything, lit a match, and smiled. It started when Damon got a DM on Instagram from a burner account. No profile pic, no followers, just one message. Open quote, "You should ask your fiancé about that guy she used to sneak around with in college. Not everything is as perfect as she says." Close quote. At first, Damon thought it was a troll, or spam. But the message was weirdly specific. It even named a guy, Ryan. Ryan was a one-time thing. We kissed at a party during a break Damon and I had sophomore year. Damon knew about him. I'd been honest about it from the jump. But this message said we were still talking, that I'd seen Ryan recently, and included a screenshot of an old text from me to Ryan, years old. Totally out of context. Looked flirty, but it was from before Damon and I got back together. Damon showed it to me and said, "This feel off to you?" I took one look at it and my stomach dropped. The screenshot? It was from my old phone, a phone I hadn't used in 4 years. The only person who even had access to that phone was my mother. You think I'm jumping to conclusions? Let me break it down for you. That phone is still in a drawer at her house. I remember because she offered to keep it just in case you need to retrieve anything later. That message? I deleted it years ago. Someone would have had to dig deep to find it. So now I'm thinking, did she go through my phone? Did she actually try to frame me for cheating? I called her. I didn't even fake it. I just said, open quote, "Did you send Damon that message?" Close quote. Her voice didn't even flinch. She just said, open quote, "What message?" Close quote. I described it, told her what the account said, that we traced the IP back to our state. Yes, Damon's friend helped us with that. That the message had my words in it. Her reply? Open quote, "Sweetheart, if you have a guilty conscience, don't put that on me." Close quote. I was shaking, like physically shaking. Damon had to take the phone from me because I was on the verge of throwing it out the window. After we hung up, I didn't sleep for 2 days. I couldn't eat. I kept asking myself why. Why would she go this far? What kind of parent does this? And then I remembered something from years ago. I was 19, had a boyfriend she didn't like. We broke up after she accidentally told him I was talking to someone else, which wasn't true. I didn't believe her when she denied it back then either. She's been doing this shit forever, but this time was different. This wasn't some high school boyfriend. This was my fiancé, my future, my life. And she wasn't just trying to manipulate me anymore. She was trying to destroy me. So at this point, Damon was done. Like, done. He sat me down 2 days after the DM incident and said, "I love you, but I am not going to marry you while this woman is still in our lives." And honestly, I didn't blame him. She tried to frame me for cheating, and she wasn't even slick about it. She was so deep in her toxic little fantasy that she thought she could lie, manipulate, gaslight, and still walk down the damn aisle in pearls like some proud mother of the bride. Hell. No. So we made a plan. We decided to go through with the wedding, but she wasn't going to be part of it unless she apologized and backed all the way off. Full boundaries. No input. No control. No sabotage. We sent her a message together, told her exactly what we knew, that we'd traced the IP, that she was out of line, that she could still come to the wedding, but only if she respected us and kept her damn hands out of it. Her reply? Open quote, "I raised you better than this. I won't support a mistake." Close quote. No apology, no denial, no remorse. That was it. I cried for about an hour. Then I took her off the guest list. Yep, I uninvited my own mother from my wedding, and I thought that was the end of it. But 2 weeks before the wedding, she made one last move. It was a Saturday. I had just finished my final dress fitting. I was happy for the first time in weeks. Me and my best friend were grabbing drinks after when she checked her phone and went, have you seen this? She held up her phone and showed me a Facebook post from some random-ass account with my mom's maiden name. It was a long-ass rant. Passive-aggressive, public, and full of bullshit. Open quote, "It breaks my heart to see my daughter throw her life away for a man who doesn't respect tradition. Sometimes you have to let go and let God, even when they're making the worst mistake of their lives." Close quote. Attached, a photo of me and Damon at our engagement party. I almost threw up. This woman was broadcasting her pity party to the internet, trying to make me look like the villain. And the worst part? Family friends and old church ladies were liking it. Commenting shit like, open quote, "She'll come back eventually, sweetie. You did your best as a mother. Maybe she just needs time to grow up." Close quote. Grow up? Bitch, I'm grown enough to pay my bills, build a business, and marry the man I love despite you acting like the fucking Wicked Witch of the suburbs. I texted her. I didn't yell. I didn't plead. I sent one line, open quote, "You're no longer welcome at our wedding, or in my life. Blocked." Close quote. And then I did it. Blocked her on everything. So, it's the morning of the wedding, and I won't lie to you, my stomach was in knots. I had this awful mix of anxiety, grief, rage, and something that honestly felt like guilt. Not because I regretted cutting my mom off. Fuck no. But because for the first time in my life, I was doing something big without her. No fake support, no forced smiles, no "this isn't how I raised you" bullshit. Just silence. And maybe it should have felt freeing, but I kept expecting her to pull one last stunt, like crash the wedding in a white dress screaming Bible verses. Dramatic, I know. But at that point, anything felt possible with her. But guess what? She didn't show up. Not during the ceremony. Not at the reception. Not even in the bushes with binoculars and a flask. Instead, someone else did. I was standing in the bridal suite, full glam, veil on, bouquet in my hand, about 10 minutes from walking down the aisle, and there was a knock at the door. It was my cousin Kira, who I hadn't seen in a year. We were tight as kids, but she always kept her distance from family drama. She walked in, hugged me, and whispered, "You need to know something." Bitch. My heart dropped. I thought she was about to say my mom was in the parking lot with a megaphone and a Bible. But no. Instead, she handed me her phone. It was a screenshot of a group text from the week before. A text between my mom and a few of her ladies' circle friends. The same ones who'd been commenting on her pity post. In the message, my mom said this. Open quote. "She thinks she's making the right decision. Let her. When she comes crying back in a few months, we'll welcome her. But on my terms, I'll give her 6 months before she realizes what kind of man she married." Close quote. 6 months. She was counting down to my failure, planning it like some vindictive little game. I stared at that message and something inside me snapped. Not in a ragey, scream into the void kind of way. In a cold, clear, I never want to hear this woman's voice again kind of way. Because that was the proof I needed. The final nail in the coffin. She didn't love me. Not really. She loved the idea of controlling me. And the second I stopped letting her, she started rooting for my life to fall apart. Fuck that. I handed Kira back the phone, looked at myself in the mirror, and said, open quote, "Let's go get married." Close quote. And I did. I walked down that aisle to the man who chose me every day, who stood by me through the chaos, who held my hand when I cut out my mother, who knew my flaws and still looked at me like I was the best thing that ever happened to him. I married Damon. And when I saw his face as I walked toward him, eyes watery, smile trembling, I knew I hadn't ruined my life. The reception was magical. There's no other word for it. After all the chaos, all the drama, all the fucking manipulation, we danced. We laughed. We lived. Every little moment hit differently because I knew what we'd fought through to get there. Damon kissed me like he couldn't believe I was real. My best friend gave a speech that had everyone crying. Even my dad showed up. And get this, he pulled me aside during dinner and said, open quote, "I've never seen you look this happy. Don't let anyone ruin it. Not even your mother." Close quote. Now for context. My dad and my mom have been divorced for almost a decade. He's quiet, non-confrontational, the kind of guy who says go with the flow way too often. But even he had hit his limit with her. That meant everything to me. People kept asking where my mom was, and I just smiled and said, she didn't approve of the cake flavor, so she sat this one out. Felt petty. Felt right. But here's where the revenge kicks in. I knew she'd be watching. Maybe not in person, maybe not hiding behind a hedge in a trench coat, but online? You bet your ass she was scrolling. So I made sure everything was posted, professionally, publicly, tagged. Me and Damon laughing during the vows? Posted. The kiss that had people screaming? Posted. The wild-ass bouquet toss where my best friend fell into a bush? Posted, replayed, and set to Fiance. The caption under our first wedding photo? Open quote, sometimes the best thing you can do for your future is cut out the past. Close quote. A little on the nose? Maybe. Did I care? Absolutely not. I went viral in my family group chat within 15 minutes. 3 days later, she emailed me. Not a call, not a text, an email. It was 4 paragraphs long, titled, I hope you're happy. Want to guess the tone? Open quote. I'm sorry you felt like you had to exclude me. I only wanted what's best for you. You've broken my heart in ways I can't explain, but I forgive you, and I hope you'll realize what you've done. Close quote. Forgive me? Bitch, I was 2 seconds from replying with a Google Drive folder labeled Evidence You're a Toxic Narcissist. But I didn't reply. Not even a scene. Not even a period. Because people like that thrive on reactions. And I wasn't giving her that anymore. Dame and I spent our honeymoon eating greasy tacos in Tulum and making out under the stars. Not once did we say her name. And it was the most peace I'd felt in years. The weirdest thing about going no contact with your mom? It's quiet. Not peaceful at first. Just quiet. Like your brain is waiting for the next fight, the next guilt trip call, the next text that starts with, you've always been so difficult. But it doesn't come. And that silence? It's terrifying for a while. You start wondering if you overreacted, if maybe you could have handled it differently. Maybe if you just smiled more, explained better, tried harder. Nope. Fuck that. Every time I started to spiral, Damon would look at me and say, she chose this. You just finally stopped apologizing for being her daughter. And he was right. It took about a month post-wedding for things to settle. I got into a rhythm again. Work, friends, the occasional therapy session, shout out to Julie, my queen, and long-ass cuddles on the couch with my husband. Yeah. Husband. Still feels wild to say that. We framed a wedding photo and put it up above our bed. One of those candid ones where I'm looking at him mid-laugh and he's staring at me like I hung the fucking moon. Every time I looked at it, I felt this ache in my chest. Not from regret, but from relief. Relief that I didn't let her ruin it, that I chose me, that I didn't invite toxicity into my future just because it gave birth to me. Then came the plot twist I didn't see coming. My aunt, my mom's older sister, reached out. Now, I hadn't spoken to Aunt Delilah in probably 3 years. She always played Switzerland in family beefs, kept her distance, never got involved. But she called me one afternoon. I was half asleep on the couch, Damon snoring next to me, when my phone rang. Open quote, hey, sweetheart, I just wanted you to know I saw everything, and I'm proud of you. Close quote, I nearly choked. She went on to tell me that multiple people in our extended family had finally started seeing through my mom's bullshit. That the Facebook post, the wedding drama, the messages, it all blew up in the family group chats, and people were disgusted. Apparently, my mom was going around saying Damon pressured me into marrying him, and that I had gone cold and was brainwashed. Yeah, okay. Brainwashed by love and orgasms. Sure. Aunt Delilah said she wanted to come visit. Just the 2 of us. No drama, no sides, just real conversation. I said yes. And when she came, she brought something with her. A photo album. It was from when I was a baby. Pictures of me and her holding hands, me at the beach with my dad, birthday parties where I was smiling genuinely, before the guilt trips, before the manipulation, before my mom became whatever the hell she is now. And Delilah said this, open quote, I want you to know, your happiness doesn't have to come with guilt. That woman stole enough of your joy. Take the rest back. Close quote. I bawled, right into her damn shoulder. That was the moment I fully let go. Not just of my mom, but of the idea that I owed her something just because she's blood. Because love without respect isn't love. Family without boundaries is just abuse in a prettier frame. And healing? Real healing? It hits so fucking different when the noise is gone. It's been a year since the wedding. 1 year of waking up next to Damon and never wondering if I made the right choice. 1 year of laughter, of peace, of not walking on eggshells in my own fucking life. 1 year without her voice in my ear, telling me I was too much, not enough, never quite right. And I don't miss her. Not on my birthday. Not at Thanksgiving. Not when I got sick for 3 days and Damon made me soup from scratch. Not even when I saw an old picture of her pop up on my Google Photos memories. Not even once. But of course, because life is messy, she didn't stay silent forever. About 6 months ago, I got a letter, handwritten, in her perfect bougie cursive, sent to my old P.O. box, because thank God I never gave her our new address. No return address. Just open quote, from mom. Close quote. I stared at it for a long time. Damon told me not to open it, said it wasn't worth it, but I had to know. Not because I needed closure, fact closure, but because I wanted to finally confirm she hadn't changed. And oh boy, she didn't disappoint. The letter was 3 pages long and dripping with faux concern, not real remorse. No, I'm sorry for what I did. No, I know I hurt you. Just open quote, I hope you're okay. I miss my daughter. Damon isn't your whole world. Sweetie, one day you'll remember who you were before him. I'll always be here when you need me. Close quote. Like she was doing me a favor. I read it once, took a deep breath, then ripped it into tiny pieces and dropped it in the trash, right on top of some leftover curry and a used Kleenex. It felt right. Here's the thing. A lot of people will try to tell you that family is forever, but let me be very clear. Family is not an excuse for abuse. Blood doesn't give someone the right to fuck with your peace. Love that comes with strings isn't love, it's control. And being someone's daughter doesn't mean you have to be their doormat. I spent years trying to earn a love that was conditional as hell. Years thinking if I just acted right, dressed right, chose the right man, she'd finally be proud of me. But pride rooted in control isn't pride. It's performance. I don't know if she'll ever understand what she did. I don't need her to. What I do know is that I'm married to the love of my life. I'm happy. I'm free. And I built a future that has no room for people who only show up when they can be in charge. So if you're reading this and you're in that place, the place where love feels like a battlefield and mom feels more like a loaded word than a safe one, let me tell you this. You're not crazy. You're not dramatic. You're not ungrateful. You're just done. And sometimes being done is the bravest, healthiest, most powerful fucking thing you can do.